What up, leaders? Welcome back to my channel. We're back on North Road and Church Streets. Last time we came down this way we turned right, or we turned east, turned left, and we showed you what's happening on Merrimans Mall, how the new government has decided to build a number of small kiosk stores for the beauty industry. Now we're turning west so that you can see the rest of that's North Road, and on the other side is Church Street. But here, this is the northern end of the market on Merrimans Mall. This part of the market is usually the produce market. People come out here after they've reaped their products, their produce. So what happens is that on certain days of the week, like Thursday and Friday, people who have their farms in various parts of the West Bank of Demerara or even the East Coast would reap their produce and bring it out to this Thursday market. Morning. And so if you come out here on certain days of the week, this part of the north end of the market, that is Bourda market, which is over there, is usually crowded with people they're basically farmers bringing their produce out for sale. There's not much that has changed in this part of the market over the last decade or so, and this is of course where a lot of the change should be happening. We should actually be building better. Alright, that's East Street. That's a food truck that's usually parked there every day. This is the Bourda market. We should be building better arrangements for these sellers, right? For these market vendors. That's Bourda market, the north end of Bourda market. Good morning. And this is coconut stalls. I did a previous video on coconuts, coconut water, where I actually binged. I don't remember how many, 6 or 7 coconuts, but I would recommend it because after that I was sick, so drinking too much coconut water could actually make you sick. But this is the north end of the market and I'm walking on North Road. So a lot of the changes, that's Merrimans Mall. Merrimans Mall at this section is an old arcade, basically, like the vendors arcade on at the end of Regent Street. But this part of the north end of the market has not changed in several decades. The market basically has spilled over out of the building onto this end of North Road for over a decade. Well, I would say over 50 years, because it's since I was a kid that we've been shopping out here on the market, on this vendors arcade, on Merrimans Mall, an arcade looking section of the market. This is Bourda Street, and this is the vegetable section. Again, people tend to come out here on certain days of the week with their produce. This is kind of morning, the farmers market section of the Bourda market. People come out here after they've reaped their produce to bring it out on certain days of the week to sell. So you get pineapples from pineapple farmers there, for example, and watermelons and so on, bananas. As we approach the intersection with Alexander Street, which becomes Thomas Street, across Church Street. So we're walking on North Road, and I want to show you what's happening on North Road in a kind of systematic way. I'm going through the city so that you can see things that are changing, things that are not changing. Some things are getting better, some things are getting worse, some things are staying the same. But it's one of the most rapidly changing times in Guyana. That's looking south on Alexander Street. Some tall buildings, you see those? That tall building is on Rob Street. This is a Chinese supermarket here on Robb Street and Church Road and Alexander Street. But let's continue along North Road. So that's a colonial style building, an old building where they've actually upgraded the windows. It's no longer jealousy. These buildings on North Road now pass the street. North Road passes through the commercial district, and so a lot of these buildings have become dual commercial and residential property. So these buildings have been built taller to house families at the top and businesses at the bottom. On the other side, actually there's a little, the Merrimans Mall here was turned into a kind of Indian monument for Hindus, I think, if I recall. Pardon? Yeah. And some celebrations, Hindu celebrations, are hosted there on that portion of Merrimans Mall. But here, of course, is what's happening on North Road. Buildings are getting taller, but also getting more commercial. So in the next block, in the next 2 blocks, a lot of the changes on North Road can be seen. But on this block between Camp Street and Alexander Street, you can see there are a number of stores. It's kind of become a densely packed commercial district on North Road. A lot of, for example, a lot of these stores, for example, are phone stores. You can buy digital phones, smartphones, phone cases, and so on. This is a candy store. It's called Candy Corner. Remember, I have my own candy store online now. It's called Olivia's Corner. You can check that out. I'll put the link in the description. This is Camp Street. That's Go Invest building. That's Camp Street looking north. And that's Camp Street looking south. It's still quite early, about 7 a.m. in the morning, so a lot of the activity is not yet started. Today's activities, those tall buildings on Camp Street are the offices, teleperformance offices of the new call centers. The call center industry is quite big now in Guyana. A number of call centers that have been built to operate on, I guess, to capitalize on the English-speaking population of Guyana. Guyana is an English-speaking country, the only English-speaking country in South America, and so a lot of these companies are outsourcing their telemarketing and their calling. I don't think that telemarketing is a good description of what is being done in these buildings, but they are actually answering customer service calls and reading from a script and responding to customers from Amazon and Walmart and so on. So that's happening now in Guyana. It's a big industry. This is North Road, and we're here to take a look at what's happening, things that are changing in this part of the city because of the rapid growth of the economy. The economy is growing at about 50%, more than 50% now per annum, 50% GDP per annum because of the oil and gas industry. And so because it's changing rapidly, I'm showing you the results of that change. At the top of this road, North Road, there is the St. George's Cathedral. As we approach Wellington Street, there's a vacant lot here. This lot has been empty for a while. I'm pretty sure they're going to snap it up. In fact, across the street there used to be 2 cinemas that is on Church Street. Those 2 cinemas are still the lots are vacant. A few years ago, a couple of years ago I think, one of them was abruptly torn down and both of them are now gone. So the empty lots there, those empty lots on Church Street, that's where these two cinemas were once located. Right, that's Church Street, where you can see a large empty lot. That's where you had these two cinemas. I think one was called the Globe and the other Astor. Those are guys who've known this neck of the woods can correct me if I'm wrong, but this empty lot on Church Street was in fact the site of a cinema, and right across the street, this empty lot was the site of another cinema. Up the street there, that is the new Ashuria headquarters building, which we've seen several times before. I think this building is one of the lodges, Masons, Freemasons I think building, one of several in the city.